Hello everyone. This is the first time Mike and I have done this, so bear with us. We might have a few hiccups. We've come in here today with both horses from Woodlander Stud, who are both owned and bred by Lynn and Dave Crowden. We've got the 4-year-old over there, who is Woodlander Va Va Voom, and he is a 4-year-old Hanoverian breeding stallion. He is by Velt, Regent, and Louisiana. And his first foal this year was the Hanoverian foal champion. So he's got some good stuff in him. And then this guy is Woodlander Rockstar, who I've been riding for a little while now. He's 8 years old, and I've been riding him since he was 4 years old, so we've got quite a good partnership. He is also Hanoverian and a graded breeding stallion by Rotspawn, out of Savannah, his mother. And his first son, Rhythm and Blues, was a graded breeding stallion this year, so they've been quite busy boys. And Mike is going to start the demonstration with the young one here, just to show you a little bit how we start them off. A little bit on the lunge just to get him settled, and then he'll progress on to riding him. And I'll warm this guy up a little bit just to show you how we generally go about getting him settled again. And then we'll show a little bit more advanced work with him, starting a little bit with the lateral work, and then progressing on to maybe some flying changes. And later on today, we're coming in again with another horse who is at Grand Prix level, and we'll show some of the Grand Prix work. So if you guys want to hang around, you can see everything in one go today. Okay, Mike, so if you want to start a little bit with him.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. As my sister said, this is a Woodlander Va Va Voom. He's a 4-year-old stallion. And this is he's been to a few shows, but this is probably the first time he's been around as many people as this. And what I do with him initially when I bring him in is rather than just sticking him straight on the lunge, where maybe he is a little bit out of control, first thing I do is I just walk around a little bit in hand, and I just establish a little bit of contact with him, and just making him do a few exercises, sort of like turning around me, just having a little bit his respect for my personal space, so he's not walking all over me. Just a few things, just very, very simple things, but rather than just pushing him out straight away on the lunge and letting him fart off. And then a good boy. That's it. He follows me a little bit and then stops, and follows me a little bit and then stops. Good boy. That's it. Just so I can prepare for when I let him out on the lunge, that I already have a little bit of control established, that not straight away, he jumps all over me, like he just did. Okay, that's it. Take him a little bit close to the outside, so you can see everybody. That's a good boy. That's it. You find this actually helps the horse relax when he has someone who's dealing with him that's taking the lead and taking control of the situation, that he doesn't think that he has to be the big man and take the lead and take control, that I'm actually steering the ship and he's following me a little bit. Okay, so when I think he's a little bit relaxed like this, I just slowly let him out on the circle. This is the type of work we would do for most 3-year-olds that we were starting off. Before we would be thinking about getting on their backs, we would be thinking about just spending a little bit of time with them in the school, with a saddle on their back, establishing a little bit the ground rules, already from the ground, because then you have a little bit of an idea of the personality of your horse, and you have a little bit of an idea of how they react to certain aids. So you already get a feeling how sharp they are for the whip, or how sharp they are to the hand. This chap's starting to relax quite nicely now. And so this for me is the most important thing when I lunge a horse, is that I feel that I can let him out on the lunge and he just wants to walk. He doesn't feel that he has to blast off, spend too much of his energy on the lunge, and then I have nothing left to work with when I actually get on his back. That's it. So him being a stallion, he's just sniffing the ground a little bit, checking who's been here before him. So we'll just let him do that quietly. And then you'll also notice that I've tied my stirrups up onto the girth, so that if he was to whiz off and have a little bit of a buck, the stirrups wouldn't be clanging around and banging on his sides. And I've also attached the lunge line through the bit, and what I do is I do one twist on the first ring closest to me, and then attach it through to the other side, so that I have a contact on both sides of the bit. Makes it a little bit softer if I needed to give him a bit of a tug. And it also has a little bit of a tightening effect. So if he was to whiz off, just a little bit of pressure, it makes the bits come together, and then obviously has a little bit more effect for slowing him down. Okay, so just watch these reins, don't get too far up his neck. Good boy. Okay, and all I want to do with this guy on the lunge today is just literally just see how relaxed he is before I get on him, so that I don't give you too much excitement. Go on, mate. That's it, there we go. We already have quite a nice relaxed trot. And already you can see that he's sort of not too tight in his back. That's another thing you have to really watch out for with a young horse, is to always watch that when they move off, how they look in their back. Gives you a little bit of an idea to how tight their back might be when you get on. And a lot of young horses have this problem when you get on them initially. They go a little bit cold-backed, and then very easily gets in their head that they get a little bit of a fear of the girth or the pressure of the saddle. So always making sure that the horse is nice and relaxed in his back before you think about getting on. That's it. Good. Now I think that'll actually be fine for him on the lunge. So if I could have someone just come and give me a hand to get on.
He's generally quite good on the lunge, Mike, isn't he? He doesn't explode. You get some who can sometimes explode and wear themselves out too much, and then by the time you get on them, they're pooped.
Yeah, that's why it's always very important to actually watch that you, on the lunge, you use the time on the lunge, not just for spending your horse's energy, but for actually creating already a little bit of getting the horse on the aids, so that he's listening to you, but he's not actually spent too much of his energy, because you know the young horses, they haven't got all that much stamina, and in order for them to come on with the training, you want to feel that when you get on, you've got plenty of energy to work with, but you just want to feel that the energy isn't out of control.